What is going on, IVE Warriors? So this video here is called Why I Intermittent Fast, right? And I think it's important to see sometimes to look at why people do intermittent fasting, because contrary to so many people out there that just want to point the finger at those who do intermittent fasting, it's not just about weight loss. It's not just about making sure that they look fit or whatever, or that's the only tool for them to really try to starve themselves into a better body. Like, that's not what intermittent fasting is about, even though a lot of people want to make it that. So I'm always interested to see what are the many reasons why somebody would want to do intermittent fasting. And this video is by Mitch Works Out. These combined names on TikTok aren't easy all the time, but here we go. Now with Mitch Workout's video, we could go ahead and take a look at what it is to do, or why she chose to do intermittent fasting. Let's go. Music is off because it's music. We'll be reading. It's only about 46 seconds. You can bear with me a little bit. Let's go. Why I intermittent fast. Weight loss. Main reason I started. Same here. Why I started it. Yep. Keeps me from late night snacking. Very important. One of the more powerful tools of intermittent fasting that people like to glaze over or pretend doesn't exist, especially when they're trying to say how much intermittent fasting isn't necessary. You just check just measure your calories. They're intermittent fasting. You do if it was as easy as just checking your calories all the time, everybody would have lost weight. So many people would have lost weight, but clearly people know you can check your calories. People still want to lose weight, yet it still doesn't happen. Why do you think that is? Because the humans aren't a mathematical equation. We can't just plug in some numbers like we're a computer and we're just going to do the thing. There's so many different things psychologically, emotionally, hormonally, that's keeping us from just making sure that we hit that specific number always until it's just that this is just not the case. So when you create a structure element, when you create what I call the invisible walls, where you can't eat after this time, it's a much more controlled. There's no gray area there. You're not going to be snacking because you just cannot eat, as opposed to when you're just basing it on calories. You might say, oh, well, this is probably not that many calories. Oh, I didn't really eat that much earlier, so I'll just snack. You have all these reasons why you might be able to grab a snack, or you might not, or whatever. But when intermittent fasting, when it's your fasting time, there is no gray area. It's black and white. You're not eating past your fasting time, which helps prevent snacking and grazing, which is constantly eating things throughout the day. Reduce inflammation. Yep. Something that comes with intermittent fasting. Helps my insulin resistance, so PCOS symptoms. Okay, so yeah, with PCOS symptoms for women, irregular menstruation, sometimes absence of menstruation, things of that nature. And some women have this, right? Some women have this, and insulin resistance, helping you, making your body more insulin sensitive. Those kind of things, help your body have a more natural flow. So she likes the fact that because you're reducing the amount of consistent spikes that happen from consuming carbohydrate, carbohydrate, she's feeling better about what's happening overall with her insulin resistance and how she's moving it closer to being more insulin sensitive, which is what tends to happen when you're doing intermittent fasting. And this helps with fat loss. Now, keep in mind, you could still be insulin resistant and you can have a lot of insulin spikes and still lose weight, but it helps for fat burning to be more insulin sensitive. Helps keep my calories where I need them to be without having to track as much. Another good, useful tool. Now, a lot of people, once again, want to pretend that this isn't a useful tool because this is an exterior, not a scientifically biological reaction to the diet, right? This is an exterior element that is just kind of attached to the process. So they want to pretend like it doesn't exist, right? Count calories because this ain't going to really help you with that. Yeah, it is going to help people because you're more cognizant of what you're eating. You're more aware of what you're eating. You're not going to forget that you've eaten something when you're eating things in a smaller time frame. It's much easier to remember that one meal that you ate than to remember exactly how many things did you eat throughout the day where you had no limits, right? Where you could, you're probably trying to eat below your maintenance level so you can lose weight, but you don't have limits. So you may have snacked on something in a car. You may have, grabbed some peanuts before you left, right? You may have done a bunch of different things. And because you did those things, and time has passed, you don't remember that. You don't remember that little juice that you drank when you was picking up the kids. You don't remember all those things. But when you do intermittent fasting, you're more hyper aware of the foods that you're eating, thus lending to a more controlled caloric intake without actually having to consistently always measure exactly what you're eating. You might measure a few times, but you're not constantly measuring simply from the fact that you have an open ability to eat at all times, which is what the other diets do. Intermittent fasting helps you to control that. So that's actually a benefit. As much as people want to pretend it's not a benefit, it is. And when studies have shown, when people have been given the opportunity to do intermittent fasting ad libitum, which means eat as much as you want, don't worry about it, go ahead, do some intermittent fasting, and you don't have to control for calories, and put them up against a control group, which was a group that controlled for calories but ate multiple meals a day, you would still see weight loss in both groups, which means one group not measuring calories, another group measuring calories, and then the group not measuring calories doing intermittent fasting somehow they're losing weight because it's much easier for them to eat less than what to be at a caloric surplus, right? Simply from the design of how intermittent fasting works. And let's see. And number 6, autophagy. All right. Well, autophagy, autophagy, whatever you want to call it. This has always been like a funny thing on this channel. How do you say this word correctly? So many people say it. So many people saying it differently. So whatever. Autophagy, 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 whatever floats your boat. But yeah, this is one of the elements that come with intermittent fasting. Granted, autophagy can be found in many different ways as well. Resistance training is also a way of inducing autophagy at the same time. So there's other ways that you could add more to this element of autophagy, and there's other ways that you can activate autophagy. But intermittent fasting is, especially for those who fast slightly longer than like 16/8, autophagy is definitely a tool that comes with, or an element that comes, a positive element that comes with intermittent fasting. Just so you know, that's when your cells, the damaged cells, or more the older cells, kind of get swallowed up by the newer, fresher cells. So you kind of like, it's almost like your body's kind of doing a cleanup, biological cleanup cell-wise, to ensure that you have all these fresh cells, which means that it's gonna have a domino effect to all the different elements of your body that, inflammation, rashes, and stuff like that. All that stuff is tied to the cellular makeup, right? So having that be fresh and new as much as you can is a positive for your body. All right. This is the video. The reason why I do intermittent fasting, for me, it's just my lifestyle. Like, I've been doing it for so many years. I can't not do it because it's just much easier for me. Do I break it every once in a while for specific things, like events or weddings and stuff like that? Of course I do. Of course I do. But for the most part, those are my exceptions. Those are not my rules. It helps me control my body weight the best. I've tried all the other stuff before intermittent fasting. It just didn't work for me the way intermittent fasting did. All right, let me know down in the comment section below, why do you do intermittent fasting? What's the reason you do it? I definitely want to read that. I'm going to be reading all of you guys' comments. So if you can, go ahead, comment down below your reasons. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.